There's only one team I think can catch Chelsea, and that is Spurs. Everybody else, you know, all the way back, Man United are too far away. Liverpool, my goodness, we had no idea what we're getting. Arsenal, complete disarray. And Manchester City, either fantastic or horrible. Tottenham is the only side that is so consistent as far as, certainly defensively, they don't give anything away. And if they can catch fire going forward between now and the end of the season, they are the ones that have the chance of catching Chelsea. Other than that, I don't see anybody else getting close.
They can, but will they?
No.
No. Shaq, you called this a long time ago.
I just felt Chelsea for far too long have been way too consistent, whereas everybody else seems to stumble. And I know Chelsea have dropped points to Spurs, but when you look at how consistent they've been, nobody gets even close. As for who finishes second, I think it's Spurs, and I'm in agreement. I'm not sure how the computer gets or places City higher than them right now.
Big opportunity for Spurs this weekend against Liverpool. Save your prediction, because you'll be here tomorrow, and I can tell already what it might be.
You have to think about it a bit more.
You won't be here tomorrow, Shaq. Who you got in that one?
I'm sitting on the fence with this one, and Liverpool, for all their problems, for as bad a time as they've been having during 2017, Liverpool have been best against others in the top six. They've just dropped far too many points against everybody else. At home against Spurs, again, I think that's when they come good. Spurs, as I said, second best team in the league. I see that cancelling out. I see this as a draw.
Harry Kane is talking about his manager, Mauricio Pochettino, at Tottenham. Says he is ruthless, Shaka, if you cross him. But that's technically a good thing based on the transformation that Spurs has gone through. Let's have a look at some of the stats since Pochettino took over from Tim Sherwood back in 2014. 154 matches, 71 wins, 46 draws, 37 losses. Shaka, what do you make of this transformation that Spurs has had under Pochettino?
It has been astounding to witness. When you think of the squad that he inherited, and let's remember he had, 18 months at Southampton to get to know the Premier League and remember the job he did there, and then took over an expensive and underperforming squad, and has now made this into the youngest squad in the Premier League, a third place finish last season, which is Spurs' best finish since the 89-90 season, where they also finished third. And when you look at their net spend over the last 5 years, of the top six, Spurs' net spend £1 million. Compare that to Manchester City of a plus 400 million. And I think right now Spurs are in a way better position to finish. Well, as you know, Alexis, I think Chelsea win the title. I think Spurs finish second. Compare that to Manchester City and a Manchester United, who right now are still kind of battling to finish in the top four. I think Spurs are in a better position, not just for this season, but for the long term. Adding to the fact that Spurs will be looking to move into a new stadium in a couple of seasons, as a business, Spurs is moving in exactly the right direction. And I think as a business, you need to tie Pochettino down for the longest possible term, because the job he's done so far has been second to none, and he is exactly the man you want to take into the future.
All right, well, to ask if Spurs are title contenders is probably not the right question, because they have flirted with it before, as they are doing even this season. But many Spurs fans will be asking, how soon do you see them hoisting that title?
Well, and that is a catch-22, in that as much as I make the case for Spurs as a net spend, because of the money in the Premier League, because of the commercial machines that the likes of Manchester United continue to be, and the backing that City have, it's a tough league to win, in that you're not quite sure who's going to do what in the transfer window and to what extent. Now, can Spurs continue to contend? Yes. Now, again,
spend more?
Well, that is the challenge, and you're going to be taking on the burden of a new stadium in a couple of years, but financially you're in a good position. Can you continue to attract the top players, or do you continue to rely on the development of players like Kane and Dele and Dyer coming through your system, or buying at a very young age and they settling in as quickly as they do? Now, not every young talented player acclimatizes to the Premier League as well as Dele does, and that is the catch-22, or that is the conundrum that not just Spurs but everybody's trying to figure out right now.
All right, well, time will tell indeed, but as for now, we can definitely say that Spurs are title contenders. Well, it's no news anymore that Liverpool, as many would say, probably wasted the January transfer window. Jurgen Klopp making absolutely no new additions to the current squad, and many think that that's why they're paying for it now in the title race. Shaka Hislop is joining me. Somebody who's been very vocal about it as well is Liverpool great Jamie Carragher. Shaka, do you agree with him that it is a massive disappointment wasting the January transfer window?
Well, it's a disappointment, but inevitably when you go into a transfer window, you want to get players in who improve your squad. And I'm not sure those players were available to Jurgen Klopp. So I'm not sure.
January is kind of tricky.
January is always a very tricky time to get players in. And, so as much as you look at the current form and say, well, maybe they should have done a bit more, let's keep in mind that coming out of December, Liverpool were playing very well. All right, Sadio Mane was penciled in to go off to the Africa Cup of Nations, but then Philippe Coutinho was back in training, so you thought it was a like-for-like swap, and you didn't anticipate the problems that they would have during the course of January. And again, as difficult a transfer window as it is, you want to improve your squad, and I'm not sure that those players were available.
All right, well, they were linked with quite a few big-name players. Let's have a look at them right now. And I'm talking about Christian Pulisic, Joe Hart, Ysis, Aubameyang, Payet, and Leon Bailey. Shaka, any of these names stand out to you as someone that Jurgen Klopp should have just gone all for?
Well, the only one that he could have gotten would be Ysis Rodriguez from Las Palmas. Let's be honest, Dortmund are still in Champions League. They are not going to let go of Pulisic or Aubameyang. Ridiculous, apart from which Aubameyang continues to say that he would prefer to go to Spain. Dimitri Payet determined to go back to Marseille. I don't think he would have gone anywhere else. I don't think West Ham would have sold him to another Premier League club. And Leon Bailey was a possibility, but then does he come in and automatically start for Liverpool right now? I'm not so sure. And let's remember, Joe Hart is on loan at Torino, which means the final say is with Manchester City, whether he goes. And given how tight that race is for the top four, Man City wouldn't have done business. That would be shooting yourself in the foot. So to suggest that all these players were a possibility if Jurgen Klopp had done his business or whatever else we want to throw out, I think is a smokescreen. Those players were never going to be joining Liverpool this January, and you had to make do with what you always had.
All right, see? So give Jurgen Klopp a bit of a break. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. And let's keep in mind that at Dortmund, it took him to his third full season before he won the league with Borussia Dortmund. It's a work in progress. He's, 18 months into his time at Liverpool. This takes time.
All right, thanks so much, Shaka Hislop. You can bet we'll continue monitoring Liverpool's progress here at ESPNFC.com.
Shaka Hislop, Sebastian Salazar here to make some picks for the Premier League action this weekend. Shaka, let's start with Arsenal against Hull City. 2 months ago, I said, oh yeah, done and dusted. No, not so much. Who you got?
Yeah, Arsenal outside the top four. Arsene Wenger under pressure. If ever there was a must-win against Hull, this is it. Arsenal better win.
It's a tough one for me. I think Hull City have shown they've been pretty stout defensively of late, but I can't go with Hull City.
Yeah.
I got to go Arsenal too. Pressure equals diamonds in this case for the Gunners. Manchester United and Watford. Watford creeping on the edge of the top 10, but Manchester United, much like Arsenal, in desperate need of points.
And I think Manchester United continue to get better and better. Still a little bit inconsistent for a club of Manchester United's stature, but I think they get this win against Watford.
Yeah, I liked what United did last weekend. I think Watford has some potential, maybe a goal, but I do think Manchester United gets it in the end. We're going all chalk here. Pretty lame. All right, let's break out the predictors here. Stoke City and Crystal Palace. Really big game for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Crystal Palace are in absolute free fall, and I'm not sure how Allardyce reins this in. Stoke have been decent, I think, at home. Too hard to beat. Palace too poor. Stoke get the win.
There's nothing that Palace has done recently that gives me any reason to pick them. I'm with you. Stoke City. We got to break this up. Let's go to the relegation six-pointer here. Swansea and Leicester City.
Leicester, another team in free fall. Swansea, who for so long were rooted at the bottom of the Premier League table, all of a sudden not just out of the bottom three, but playing fantastic football. I think they maintain that. I think Swans win it.
Gotta love what Paul Clement has done with Swansea, but just to break things up,
all right, okay.
I got to go Leicester City. I like what they did kind of in the last half hour of the FA Cup win midweek.
Okay,
maybe it gives them a little bit of a boost, Foxes, to get the big 3 points for them. All right, last one here. Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, I really can't pick between these two, as good as Spurs have been, and I think Spurs will finish the season in second. And Liverpool, as poor they've been, what Liverpool have done, they fared really well against the others in the top 6. So for that reason, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to call that one a draw.
A draw for your last one. I'll go Spurs. I just think what I've seen from Liverpool in the month of January gives me no reason to pick them. Spurs
it's February.
Solid. Yeah. But I'm looking backwards. Shaka always looking ahead.